वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं दैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णहस्ताय भूतले प्रभुपादतीर्थाय श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामी सुभक्तरदास बिहारिभ्यं भक्तिव्यश्चात्मदायिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णहस्ताय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। मोखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं। हरे कृष्ण। So this is the teachings of Lord Rishabhdev, very basic. So just quickly go through it again. It's like a verse. So this is a father. Alright, a father teaching his sons. So he's revealing the cause of bondage in this material world and how to cut it. So Lord Rishabhdev told his sons, I'm reading from text 1, my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stool. So a human being don't just work. All right? One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal, blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness, and which continues forever. So you have to remember that in India, even 1 century ago, even 50 years ago, this was followed actually, that people in India, they didn't work hard, they worked sufficient, all right? And they had time to go on pilgrimage, right? They had time to go everywhere, to do all their fasting, their festivals, right? It's a balanced life of daily it will be 8 hours work, right? Not more than 8 hours work. And it would be like Chaturmasyas now, right? Yeah, we're in Bombay, that's why, we are still moving around, but otherwise Chaturmasya means you stay inside, and what do? You read Bhagavatam. All the family now, who's interested to read? You're all alone, so therefore we have to collect, devotees from everywhere. Then we have a Sangha, right? Otherwise, the whole family will just be sitting and reading Bhagavatam. That's what they do. Nobody travels. This is the rainy season, and even the sadhus, remember? The sadhus also, they stay in one place, and that's when the householders get good fortune. Because the sadhus will stay in one place, and because the householders will welcome them, so they get the association, right? So it was a very balanced, just like I'm saying, 8 hours per day. So similarly, the year was divided in such a way that there is sufficient time for everything. One can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. Okay, see, this is what we're talking about. So the householders, they get that opportunity to welcome. I was just telling Mirabai, now I just posted this one small video of Bhakti Swarup Swami Maharaj. When our Guru, I said, my God, just 1 minute he spoke, right? It's so powerful. The Guru, when Guru speaks, so much power is there. One can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. Because the whole life we are only serving our own selves and our extended selves. But when the sadhus come, so there is opportunity. Meaning that when you are serving, what are you getting in return?
This is they feel like it's duty, nothing great they are doing. When we serve the sadhus,
yeah, what do you get in return?
Liberation.
How? How?
When you please them, the Lord is pleased.
How? When you render service, then what happens? What you get in return? They speaks. They speak, right? Right? They speak. They give you knowledge, right? They give you knowledge by their behavior or by their speech, right? By their very presence. These personalities are impersonalists and devotees. Whether one wants to merge into the Lord's existence or wants to associate with a person in Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. For those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. They're only going parties. Whatever type of parties, only to enjoy. So, The Mahatmas are equipoised. They do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They are very peaceful and fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid of anger and they work for the benefit of everyone. They do not behave in any abominable way. Such people are known as Mahatmas. So the qualities are given here. So how do they behave? They are not partial, right? Like everybody is partial to their own family members. But the Mahatmas are not partial, right? They see everyone equally and they appreciate even the dog in your house, right? So they are very peaceful and are fully engaged in devotional service. They're just doing their bhakti, they have their deities, they are chanting, right? And because of them, you have satsang, right? Those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of Godhead do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. They are not interested in mingling with people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating and defending. Alright, this is what ordinary people do. They are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders. Nor are they attached to wives, children, friends and wealth. At the same time, they are not indifferent to the execution of their duties. What are they doing? But it's not like their home is everything. Such people are interested in collecting only enough money to keep the body and soul together. This is the instruction that Rishabdev is giving. Of course, if you are born a king, you have more than enough, right? And his boys are all kings, right? So, when a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, everything is only work so that I can enjoy life. What's the use? When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activity. So, if we put the goal of life as sense enjoyment, naturally we are bound to commit sinful activities. We are going to break those relative principles. Meat eating, intoxication, gambling and illicit sex. If we make the goal of life materialistic living, he doesn't know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Meaning he has taken birth, and along with the birth has come the Janma Patri, right? A record of all your misdeeds and what's your due. Short life, medium life, long life. Who will trouble you? Whether it's your financial, creditors who will trouble you, or your son will trouble you, or your mother will trouble you. God knows, right? So here, he doesn't know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. If I mistreat my father, right? I don't take care. I don't appreciate him. What will happen? My father will become my son, right? Next birth. Right? That's how it happens. So actually the living entity should not have taken on a material body. Actually we don't know who we owe. Right? Sometimes grandson also take birth, right? And how they create misery. Because you owe them something. So somehow or other it comes. So he doesn't know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body, which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but he has been awarded a material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in the activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. Actually, Prabhupada, later in this canto, Prabhupada is speaking of Bharatvarsh. Bharatvarsh is speaking of Bharatvarsh. So this Bharatvarsh means where you learn how to practice Krishna consciousness, right? He says, but now, and this is done through the system of Varnashram Dharma, right? He says, but now, nobody has any education about anything. Nobody. So therefore, we are at great risk. So everybody go to school, but they come out ignorant, right? Absolutely, completely ignorant, and therefore it's very dangerous. I think it is not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in the activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. See, like what they say, that all this spiritual education comes from home. The school is not meant to give spiritual education. School is secular. They teach you only how to count and how to read, right? And give you all false knowledge. That's all, body knowledge. Real knowledge, but you have already captured that child, right? How many hours a child goes to school? Whole day is already gone in school. So you leave nothing. What will they learn at home? And when they come home also again tuition, right? So what time is there? So this is very, very risky, this present time. As long as one doesn't inquire, okay, as long as one doesn't inquire about the spiritual values of life, one is defeated and subjected to miseries arising from ignorance. So you really have to be lucky to even inquire, right? In your own household, you're practicing Krishna consciousness, but your children, they don't even inquire. They think, okay, this is for father, mother, whatever they do, let them do. And sometimes parents also think, yes, it's for us. Let the children, just go do whatever their education, do this, right? You also think like that. So inquiry, jigyasate. So as long as one does not inquire about the spiritual values of life, one is defeated and subjected to miseries arising from ignorance. Be it sinful or pious, karma has its resultant actions. Just see, like a child as she's growing up, they come to the age of reasoning. From 15 they start, right? At the time they're 20, they're already seeing, because the soul has now awakened. And if you only put them on a path where they're not seeing the answers to life, what will happen to them? They're confused, right? They're seeing so many bad things around them. People misbehave with them, their friends, their roommates, their classmates, right? You see so many horrific things around them. And so it's like you're in total and absolute ignorance. So they're confused. So be it sinful or pious, karma has its resultant actions. Alright. Nobody can escape karma. If a person is engaged in any kind of karma, his mind is called karmatmaka, colored with fruitive activity. As long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear. And as long as one is absorbed in fruitive activity, he has to accept a material body. See, Rishabdev, he's speaking to his boys, right? The boys. He's teaching them about two things here, mind and consciousness. When we were children, did anybody tell us about mind and consciousness? Right? We had to come to Prabhupada. I remember, I didn't know there is a difference between intelligence and mind. I didn't know. And when I'm reading Prabhupada's book, Mind, Intelligence, I didn't know. Nobody in the school spoke about difference between mind and intelligence. Right? I remember how my Guru Maharaj, he pointed out to me the difference between mind and intelligence. I'm in my 20s, right? So how do you think as a soul in a body, how do you think you're going to operate your body if you do not understand what is mind, what is intelligence? What to speak of consciousness? Did anybody tell you about consciousness? Right? So ignorance is very, very dangerous. It's as good as being an animal. Alright, so this is responsibility of parent, right? To make the child conscious of mind, intelligence, consciousness. And karma. Karma. Be careful. Your action is producing reactions, and therefore body after body. As long as the mind is impure, you know this mysterious statement, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. What is this, reading again and again in Prabhupada's book. Took me years to figure out what is this simple sentence, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Didn't understand it. Even after reading, even after hearing. Took me immense. Why? Because the ABC was not taught. Even with Prabhupada's books, we're just getting the book and reading like this. Gradually, as ISKCON become to, progress, expand, then teachers started coming up. And they started teaching systematically. His only aim should, as long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear, and as long as one is absorbed in fruitive activity, he has to accept a material body. When the living entity is covered by the mode of ignorance, he doesn't understand the individual living being and the supreme living being, and his mind is subjugated to fruitive activity. Therefore, until one has love for Lord Vasudeva, who is none other than myself, he is certainly not delivered from having to accept a material body again and again. Anyway, it's still, temples are still full, right, in India? Temples are still full, right? Meaning that the parents are telling, there is a God. That's why the children are also coming, right? Whatever it may be. They don't have full knowledge, but at least they have one knowledge, right? And there is a God. Even though one may be very learned and wise, he's mad if he doesn't understand that the endeavor for sense gratification is a useless waste of time. Being forgetful of his own interest, he tries to be happy in the material world, centering his interest around his home, which is based on sexual intercourse and which brings him all kinds of material miseries. In this way, one is no better than a foolish animal. We have to remember that actually, man and woman was deliberately created, right? You remember from Lord Brahma? Before only the sages or all this Rishi Muni, everybody, and nobody was interested in being Prajapati, right? So then Lord Brahma said, what will happen to all these souls, right, who has to be liberated? Then he brought up one male and one female, right? They just appeared, all right? But then when they combine, now there has to be rules. So because that attraction is so strong that when they don't follow the system of Varnashram Dharma, then it becomes chaos. So it's very risky in this material world. Even when you come up with a machine, right? You come with a machine to fulfill one purpose. That machine itself is so dangerous. Right? Becomes so dangerous. So therefore, the system of Varnashram will regulate the system. But because, remember, Lord Brahma, not only Devas came out from his body, but who else came out?
Daughter also came out.
Daughter, yes, and who else came out?
7 sages.
The demons also came, right? That's the whole.
The goblins. All
Yeah. All right. So the demons, what do? They demolish the entire system of Lord Brahma.
Purpose of Brahma, if he can produce demons and this. Why he produce all this?
No, because they exist. They are in the body of Mahavishnu. So by nature they're demoniac. So they come out, right? Whatever we are now, at the end of annihilation, we continue, right? So when those bodies come, so the appropriate souls take, the appropriate bodies.
But Mataji, demons go to hell, na?
We are speaking of the end of creation, right? Dissolution, right? So the demons also, they are given the opportunity to progress, right? I mean, the horrible Mahabharata that I'm reading right now is showing all this, right? How Krishna is trying to educate, how all the sages, right? That type of, you're fixed in sense gratification, fixed in being, in your position, you do all these horrific things, right? How much advice is given, they don't understand, right? Duryodhana, so he's born. So this, what's happening here right now? Like one of Pandava say, in the Kuru dynasty, one Asura of Kali has taken birth. Right? This great dynasty of Kuru, one Asura of Kali has taken birth and he's destroying the entire dynasty. So the point is that it's very risky to take birth, right? Extremely risky to take birth because see what happened. We want to somehow minimize the damage. So okay, we'll fix this way, we'll fix that way. So Varnashram is a system, to allow people to somehow upgrade themselves and become devotees and go out. But because this is the material world, it's so risky. Whatever system you put forward, you set up, it gets demolished in course of time, right? So it's very risky to be in this world. Therefore Krishna, Prabhupada tells us, get out. Yes, so if he's only now, so he's stuck in his household life, even though one may be very learned and wise. Remember who's learned and wise? Dhritarashtra, right? Very learned and wise, and so many wise people around him, right? Counseling. He is mad if he doesn't understand that the endeavor for sense gratification is a useless waste of time. Being forgetful of his own interests, he tries to be happy in the material world, centering his interest around his home, which is based on sexual intercourse and which brings him all kinds of material miseries. In this way, one is no better than a foolish animal. See, I'm just taking Dhritarashtra. Like I would read this and I say, oh, is it true now? Now Mahabharata has given us the example. So learned, so wise, but because he's so attached to sense gratification, right? The sons, what is the sun? The sense gratification, right? And his position. He's ruling over the whole world. He's the emperor. 20 years he remained emperor. He could not release that position. I'm reading how. So pathetic. So how Krishna came, the only light in the whole history is Krishna, right? Krishna comes as a messenger of peace. Alright? He's superbly welcome. And then, Dhritarashtra said, call my son, talk to him, and he stormed out, Duryodhana stormed out of the assembly hall. He doesn't want to hear anything what his father has to say. Then the king said, call the mother. So Gandhari comes, the queen speaks to him, and again, Duryodhana storms out, God knows what happened. And then, just see, you have to actually study that Mahabharata, because now that we are studying, this Srimad Bhagavatam, you are able, why this Mahabharata? Because all the characters, their behavior is given in philosophy form. There it is depicted as a personality, as a character. So when, just think, this is the big emperor, okay, Dhritarashtra. Krishna is leaving, alright? Dhritarashtra, so Krishna is leaving, and Dhritarashtra knows the position of Krishna. He is very learned and wise. He knows the position of Krishna.
He knows the position of Krishna.
He knows.
Then why are you blinded?
Attachment, alright? So even though one may be very learned and wise, he's mad. Alright, he's mad. If he doesn't understand that the endeavor for sense gratification is a useless waste of time. So what he did, so now Krishna, he's a messenger, right? So he came just like an ordinary person, and he's sitting on his chariot. The emperor came out like a regular ordinary person, right? He walked to the chariot of Krishna. He said, you see how I cannot do anything? My son won't listen to me. You see? What did Krishna reply? You are the emperor of the entire world? Alright? You are the emperor. Do you know what's that position? You are the emperor of the entire world. Your son doesn't listen to you. Meaning, how can your praja listen to you? Right? You hold the scepter of punishment. Right? Use your one word, right? Your one word can cut off the head of any culprit, any criminal.
He also wanted the same thing, no?
Yeah.
That is why.
That's he held his son as the excuse. He used his son as the excuse. So that's why they say, father and son were helping each other, right? And even though he knew what will be the outcome, but he still, Prabhupada says, hope against hope. So therefore he is mad. What's the word used here? Pramata. Pramata, he's mad. So this Jeev who is living in this body, right? He is so mad. Even though wise and learned, he doesn't understand that the endeavor for sense gratification is a useless waste of time. That's why the laws of nature become so harsh. Right? The laws of nature become so harsh, punish us very badly because wisdom doesn't work. Okay, now text 8. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception which ties together the hearts of male and female, so we remember that this is made deliberately, right? It's a machine for procreation to allow the soul to have bodies. But somehow it got all like somebody, hijacked the machine. The asuras hijacked it, right? One becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusion and thinks in terms of I and mine. So we have Kardama Muni, right? How? He lived in household life and then he left, right? That was the idea. So now Rishabdev, he's telling about the ordinary people, right? What do? When the strong knot in the heart of a person implicated in material life, due to the results of past karma is slackened, one turns away from his attachment to home, wife and children. In this way, one gives up the basic principle of illusion, I and mine, and becomes liberated. Thus one goes to the transcendental world. So remember that again, this male and female body was created as a vehicle to allow the conditioned soul to get bodies so that they can enact their desires and sit and read Bhagavatam, hear Bhagavatam, right? Understand what this whole life is about, and practice whatever is described here, and then gradually, everything timely, right? Everything timely, and then move on. Thus one goes to the transcendental world. So that was happening quite smoothly some time ago. Anyway, now is the age of darkness. So text 10 to 13. Let's recite together. Hamse guru mai bhaktanuvritya vitresnaya dvandvatitikshaya cha sarvatra jantu vyasanavagatya jigyasaya tapaseha nivritya matkarma bhimat kathaya cha nityam Maddeva Sangad Guna Kirtanamne Nirvaira Samyo Pashamena Putra Jihashaya Deha Dehatma Buddhe Adhyatma Yogena Vivikta Sevaya Pranendriyatma Bhijayena Sadryak Satchadraya brahmacharyena shasvat asampramadena yamena vacham sarvatra madbhava vichakshanena jnanena vijnana virajitena yogena dhrityodam sattvayukto Lingam yapohat kushalohamakyam. Right now, it looks like a long instruction is given. Oh, my sons, you should accept a highly elevated Paramahamsa, a spiritually advanced spiritual master. So the father is indicating to the boys, you must take Diksha. Alright? In this way, you should place your faith and love in me. the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, the Guru will teach you how to love Krishna. You should detest sense gratification and tolerate the duality of pleasure and pain, which are like the seasonal changes of summer and winter. You should detest sense gratification. Meaning, so long as we have the body, naturally there is a need for sense gratification, but why overindulge? Right? Why every day, just eating? Why looking at cinema, hearing cinema songs, watching dirty movies, right? So you should detest sense gratification and tolerate the duality of pleasure and pain, which are like the seasonal changes, summer and winter. So since you take birth in this material world, now is rainy season, and next we know it will go off, October, right, will go off, then it will be, hot in Bombay, very hot, and then it will come winter, right, and then again will come spring. So we are prepared for this. Every year we are prepared for it. So similarly, be prepared for happiness and distress. Meaning it will come and it will go. Try to realize the miserable condition of living entities who are miserable even in the higher planetary system. So no illusion about this. Even in the higher planetary system, there is misery. Philosophically inquire about the truth, then undergo all kinds of austerities and penances for the sake of devotional service. Keep little bit of fasting, get up early in the morning, do your morning sadhana, give up the endeavor for sense enjoyment and engage in the service of the Lord. Listen to discussions about the Supreme Personal Godhead and always associate with devotees. Chant about and glorify the Supreme Lord and look upon everyone equally on the spiritual platform. Give up enmity and subdue anger and lamentation. Even, where do enmity happen? In your own family life, right? Right? Your own family people act as if they are your enemy. So here what to do? Give up enmity. See, if we practice giving up enmity among ourselves, in the family itself, we are able to give up enmity outside also. We cannot, if we are not able to handle this small group of people, then the bigger one also we can't handle. Give up enmity and subdue anger and lamentation. Abandon identifying the self with the body and the home, and practice reading the revealed scriptures. Alright, practice reading the revealed scriptures. Live in a secluded place and practice the process by which you can completely control your life, air, mind and senses. Have full faith in the revealed scriptures, the Vedic literatures, and always observe celibacy. Perform your prescribed duties and avoid unnecessary talks. Always thinking of the Supreme Person Godhead, acquire knowledge from the right source. Thus practicing Bhakti Yoga, you will patiently and enthusiastically be elevated in knowledge and will be able to give up the false ego. Okay, this is a very long purport.
Purport. In these 4 verses, Rishabdev tells his sons how they can be freed from the false identification arising from false ego and material conditioned life. One gradually becomes liberated by practicing as mentioned above. All these prescribed methods enable one to give up the material body, lingam, Vyapohit, and be situated in his original spiritual body. First of all, one has to accept a bona fide spiritual master. This is advocated by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Shri Guru Padashraya. To be freed from the entanglement of the material world, one has to approach spiritual master. Tat vigna artham sa gurum eva abhigachat. By questioning the spiritual master and by serving him, and one can advance in spiritual life. When one engages in devotional service, naturally the attraction for personal comfort for eating, sleeping and dressing is reduced. By associating with devotee, a spiritual standard is maintained. The word Mad Deva Sangat is very important. There are many so-called religious devoted to the worship of various demigods. But here good association means association with one who simply accepts Krishna as his worshipable deity.
So here, very systematically, now Rishabdev is giving the instruction how to become free from false identification arising from false ego in material condition life. See, the thing that we don't even know what's happening to us, right? And even after reading in the book, you say, what do I do, We've just read so many things. What do I do? I'm stuck in this. I can't. This is where I am. Therefore, the process is given. What is the first process? How to break this false ego and false identification.
False ego, false identity is a separate thing.
No, same. How to break it?
By associating the devotee to.
What is the first thing? Prabhupada is writing there.
Spiritual master.
Yes, you must accept a guru. Because only guru can break this. You can't do it by yourself. So this is the instruction of Srila Rupa Goswami. First of all, one has to accept a bona fide spiritual master. It's the first thing. And then what should we do next?
Faith and love to the God.
What do we do next?
We serve Him.
Yes? Questioning. Questioning, yes. Right? You must ask questions. Right? You must ask questions. If you don't have any question, then how will you progress? You never ask your guru, what should I do? What is my duty? I don't read any scripture, so I don't have any question. Who are those who don't have any question? Those who don't read. Right? So, they question, they serve. And then what do we do? Next, we engage in the different angas of bhakti. The point is that one is so busy. See, as a householder, if we are so busy, we have to do satsang in the house. Let's say I have a monthly program. It takes few days to organize, right? It means sacrifice in the house. All your children have to cooperate, right? It means expenses, right? All these, what's the result? It breaks, it slackens the attraction for personal comfort. Because you're busy, you have to host people, right?
Another important item is Dandvat Titiksha. As long as one is situated in the material world, there must be a pleasure and pain arising from the material body. As Krishna advises in Bhagavad Gita, Tam Titikshna Bharata, one has to learn how to tolerate the temporary pains and pleasure of this material world. One must also be detached from his family and practice celibacy. Sex with one's wife, according to the scriptures' injunction, is also accepted as brahmacharya, celibacy. But illicit sex is opposed to religious principles and it hampers advancement in spiritual consciousness. Another important word is Vijnana Virajita. Everything should be done very scientifically and consciously. One should be realized soul. In this way, one gives up the entanglement of material bondage. As Sri Madhavacharya points out, the sum and substance of these 4 shlokas is that one should refrain from acting out of desire for sense gratification and should instead always engage in the Lord's loving service. In other words, Bhakti Yoga is acknowledged path of liberation. Sri Madhavacharya quotes from the Adhyatma Atmano Abhyatam Karma Varjaye Itva Anye Karmana Kamasya Cha Parityaga Nirteheti Ahur Uttama. One should perform activities only for the benefit of the soul. Any other activity should be given up. When a person is situated in this way, he is said to be desireless. Actually, a living entity cannot be totally desireless, but when he desires the benefit of the soul and nothing else, he is said to be desireless. Spiritual knowledge is Gyan Vigyan Samanvitam. When one is fully equipped with Gyan and Vigyan, he is perfect. Gyan means that one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, to be the Supreme Being. Vigyan refers to the activities that liberates out from the ignorance of material existence, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9.31. Jnanam Parama Guyam Mehyad Vijnana Samanvitam. Knowledge of the Supreme Lord is very confidential, and the supreme knowledge by which one understands Him further, the liberation of all living entities. This knowledge is Vigyan, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yaveti tatvata tyakta deha punarjanma neti mameti so Arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. O Arjuna.
Yes. So we've already discussed all these points. So, but just one thing again. Gyan Vigyan Samanvitam. When one is fully equipped with knowledge, with Gyan and Vigyan, he's perfect. Alright. Gyan means that one understands the Supreme Person Godhead Vishnu to be the Supreme Being. Understood it, right? Vigyan means?
Practical application.
Yes. I just gave the example of Dhritarashtra. Full knowledge, but he could not apply. He could not apply, right? So therefore, you remain as good as being ignorant, right? And the laws of nature do not forgive. Not because you say, yeah, he's so learned, he's so wise, right? But he doesn't act upon that knowledge. The laws of nature, the law of karma. So, again, I used to teach Bhagavad Gita, especially chapter 1. I used to say all these things, that what is this law? It's the law of karma, right? And now reading in detail of how much chance was given, how much gyan was given, how much advice, bribing, like bargaining, so much. Meaning that even, okay, you want to enjoy, okay, fine, have this win-win situation. This is all the methods in this material world was given. The person was just so adamant, I want everything. Right? Even Krishna came, right? Personally he spoke. So it's no use having gyan if there is no vigyan. Must be applied at all costs. So this is a very good message for all our congregation. You take diksha, you come, you read the book, and then you disappear. No seva, right? You don't seva means here, in this very same section here, the main service that Prabhupada has given us is preaching. Right? Why preach? To give up enmity towards others. Meaning to do good to others. To be able to tolerate, the whatever the other person is, to tolerate that and still give him or her Krishna consciousness. So this is our main regulative principle, you could say sadhana. Text 14. Karamashayam hridaya granti bandham avidyaya saditam apramatah anena yogena yathopadesham samyak vyapohyo parameta yogat. As I have advised you, my dear sons, you should act accordingly. Be very careful. My God, see how the Father is giving instruction. Be very careful. By these means, you will be freed from the ignorance of the desire for fruitive activity, and the knot of bondage in the heart will be completely severed. For further advancement, you should also give up the means. That is, you should not become attached to the process of liberation itself. The process of liberation is Brahma Jigyasa, the search for the absolute truth. Generally, Brahma Jigyasa is called Neti Neti, the process by which one analyzes existence to search out the absolute truth. This method continues as long as one is not situated in his spiritual life. Spiritual life is Brahma Bhuta, the self-realized state. In the words of Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma na shochati na kaunshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. The idea is to enter into the para bhakti, the transcendental devotional service of the Lord. To attain this, one must analyze one's existence. But when one is actually engaged in devotional service, he should not bother seeking out knowledge. By simply engaging in devotional service undeviatingly, one will always remain in the liberated condition. Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. The unflinching execution of devotional service is in itself Brahma Bhuta. Another important feature in this connection is Anena Yogena Yathopadesham. The instructions received from the spiritual master must be followed immediately. See, the point is that what's the use of me sitting in school, spending 10 years, right? And after 20 years, I'm still sitting and reading and not doing anything. You follow? I'm still learning. And I'm reading, hearing. So here, Prabhupada is explaining that the idea is to enter into Parabhakti, the transcendental devotional service of the Lord. Why are we studying? Right? It's to do service, to enter the service of the Lord. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vandanam, Padasevanam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Alright? This is what we want. So to attain this, one should analyze one's existence. But when one is actually engaged in devotional service, he should not bother seeking out knowledge. By simply engaging in devotional service undeviatingly. Alright? Let's say my Shravanam Kirtanam, if it's natural for me to hear Bhagavad Katha, if it's natural for me to chant, alright? So if somebody doesn't want to study, see, Jnana and Shravanam is different, alright? Shravanam at the end it is hearing Krishna Katha, hearing the pastimes of the Lord and desiring how can I enter into the pastime of the Lord. This Jnana is understanding who you are. What is this material world? What are the laws of karma? You know, Indradyumna Swami, he's having such rasa. I don't know, I have posted a few times. Such rasa about Krishna, real information about Krishna. So then, I just happened to hear one of his lectures, and so he's saying that he has made 500 videos, lecture recorded on all pastimes of Krishna, different aspects of Krishna. Then he mentioned this. He said, we're spending our life, our time. We are not the body, we are the soul, the law of karma, right? Jiva, Ishvara, Prakriti, but we don't know Krishna, right? So this is what is being said here. So it's good, we have to hear again and again, whenever you forget that chanting is important, it's good that I open the book and read that I should chant, that finally I should chant, right? So see, spiritual life is not easy, right? It's not easy. It's only unless you're intelligent, you cannot practice spiritual life. But you become intelligent, how Prabhupada is explaining here. The unflinching execution of devotional service in itself, Brahma Bhuta. Another important feature in this connection is Anena Yogena Yathopadesham. The instructions received from the spiritual master must be followed immediately. Alright, Guru has said here the beads, chant 16 rounds minimum. Chant. Immediately. Not just tomorrow I will do. No, immediately. One should not deviate from or surpass the instructions of the spiritual master. One should not be simply intent on consulting books. Oh my God. One should not be simply intent on consulting books, but should simultaneously execute the spiritual master's order. Alright? Yathopadesham. Mystic power should be achieved to enable one to give up the material conception. But when one actually engages in devotional service, one does not need to practice the mystic yoga system. So mystic power should be achieved to enable one to give up the material conception, meaning that you are able, what is this mystic power? Siddhi, I don't know where it is. Okay, Anena Yogena. The practice of yoga. So, to be able to distinguish between matter and spirit. Basically, that's what it is. Mystic power should be achieved to enable one to give up the material conception. That you are not the body, you are soul. Remember, we are soul mixed up with the material body, just like milk is mixed up with water. Are you able to distinguish which is milk, which is water? Who can distinguish? Yeah, the Hamsa. Alright? The Hamsa has a method. His body is made such a way that he's able to remove the milk and leave behind the water. Right? So the soul is mixed up with the body. So you're not able to find out who you are, which is body, which is soul. So therefore mystic power. Alright? Literally, it's mystic power that is require that you need to achieve in order to be able to dissociate. Few things are being discussed here. Jnana, you have to study, all right? But don't go on consulting books and waste your time but you don't do service. If you are doing both simultaneously, if you are studying the book and it is helping you do the seva, very good. But if it is wasting time, reading books, go on reading books. We read in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, one of the 64 items, one of the prohibition, don't read too many books. Yeah? So here Prabhupada is saying, one should not be simply intent on consulting books, but should simultaneously execute the spiritual master's order. I heard, what happened with Bhishma Dev. His head went completely, bewildered when Draupadi asked him a question, right? He said, let me consult the books, right? I don't know what the books say. So, one should not simply be intent on consulting books, but should simultaneously execute the spiritual master's order, right? Krishna didn't think, let me consult the book, right? He immediately came and rescued her, right? You understand what's going on here? About books and practical activity, right? Just like I give an example. Well, let's say your altar, unless you're completely suchi, right? You cannot touch your altar. But in case a bug is sitting on your altar, what will you do? Let me, read the book, the niyam. You will immediately pick out the bug and throw it out. So one should not be simply intent on consulting books, but should simultaneously execute the spiritual master's order. Mystic power should be achieved to enable one to give up the material conception. But when one actually engages in devotional service, one does not need to practice the mystic yoga system. All right, meaning it's already settled, it's already understood, it's already settled that you are not the body, you are soul. All right. So therefore, no need. So the point is that one can give up the practice of yoga, but devotional service cannot be given up, because the very goal of devotional service is devotional service itself. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vandanam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Right? So, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Atmaramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Apyuru Krame Kurvantya Haitukim Bhaktim Itham Bhuta Guno Harihi. Even those who are liberated Atmaram must always engage in devotional service. One may give up the practice of yoga when one is self-realized, but at no stage can one give up devotional service. All other activities for self-realization, including yoga and philosophical speculation, may be given up, but devotional service must be retained at all times. All right, so it's been intense. Lot of instruction there. Okay, so thank you. Vigyan, what is the meaning of Vigyan? Yes, must apply. What's the use of reading books? Go on consulting books whenever you're stuck. Just like I spent many time reading through health, because I wanted proper natural things, and how to cook, what to cook, what's the season, because we were completely ignorant. I just read something that what was regular, ordinary knowledge now has become mystical knowledge. Every household, right? Every household knew when the season is coming what to eat, what to wear, what to do, right? Whenever there's eclipse, Prabhupada writes, when there's eclipse, everybody knew what's going to happen, right? I have no idea. The changes, this, that. It was common knowledge. Household knowledge. When to grow, right? Right? When to cut your hair, when not to cut your nails, which day, This was complete everyday household knowledge. Yeah. Now all this has become mystic power. Right? But lucky is still there in the books, in the Vedic literature. So I did spend time, reading even color, what color to wear, what type of each what's that, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, right? Even the shape of clothes to wear. Yes. Like I just read, I have this book, and they're Westerners who are writing all these books. So they're saying, like I'm saying, it's the fashion, you put something like this. You say it disturbs your Vata especially.
I want to share something or to tell something. Like I know Mataji from my young days. Now, when I came back, I attended her class and we used to have it down in the hall, She hall or some other hall. We used to have classes, same ladies classes. So I remember like Mataji telling that it's better for a woman to wear sari and come. So I find it little difficult, but I always remember when I'm attending her class out of love and respect also, because so much elderly, and pious person. So somehow I managed to put sari and come when it is Mataji's class.
Okay, thank you.
Because she had told once that legs should not be seen, women's legs should not be visible. So sari is the only garment which covers the legs of women.
Anyway, so all these, the shapes of that also, yeah, I've got the book, I have to look again, Actually, for Vata people, the best clothes are flowing clothes. Like the sari is the best for Vata people. All this is given, And here we are, we are doing fashion show. So we cut this way, that way, Inventing, right?
Hole in the back, hole in the front. One sleeve not there. Who wears those bizarre clothes? I always wonder.
Well, they are wearing, don't worry. They are wearing.
Parading. Who wears those bizarre clothes? Such a big balloon-like thing they wear. Like a big balloon.
All right, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Vanshakalpatarubhascha, Kripa Sindhu eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Hare Krishna.